Hey YouTube, it's Elena. I see it's all dark in here. I think you can see my face. How is everybody doing? God is good. God ain't playing with people that have, ill will towards his children. Um, I was going to post a video just clarifying everything, but I don't want to clarify anything. People don't deserve clarity right now when it comes to me and minds. Okay. Um, However, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is that I posted a video of me on the block dancing or whatever. And you guys should guess the club. I don't know how my comments work. I think that I put something about like I will review the comments. Um, but guess the club. If you can add a comment, guess the club that I'm at. Um, so I get a phone call where my mom, Tamara, once again, here we go talking about somebody. She knows any and every little thing that she's done. And for her to just sit back and wait and be like, everybody's going to do what I say, it's all just going to unfold appropriately the way that it should have been. An adult shouldn't have to go over another adult's work and correct something. Something really bad could have happened. And they didn't realize that there's a bigger team behind everything, just observing how something would be handled. Um, Fortunately, it was handled wrong. Um, Definitely a dig at me personally, where I don't know. I think that sometimes, like they say, like certain judges like should not review certain cases, especially when they're not reviewing a case that is that should have been filed when it was denied the first time. It was for a reason. Okay, going and wasting my time and basically looking at my financial situation as any way to talk down to me or take complete control of my life and say it's not going to go the right way. It's going to go the wrong way. It's going to go downhill from here. You shouldn't have any of the things that you have. And yeah, so it's whatever. I was obviously the most attractive person in the room. And it was just strange to me because I'm like, this is not, if this is something that actually really happens to people, that's unfortunate. And I think that I don't need to go into detail, but if that's something that's happened to somebody, I want to hear about it. I want people to speak up about it and talk about things like that happening. I've already actually heard of somebody that had their baby taken away from a perfectly fine mother and while it was nursing. And that there needs to be a huge separation of hearsay and grown-ups talking amongst themselves, no matter what the circumstances is, no matter if it's in anything. The word legal doesn't even matter right now. That has no bearing on what we're talking about. It's very sick that has happened to people, and I'm sorry that I've even heard that has happened to women where their children are taken from them and they're perfectly fine. The mother's fine. Everybody has something going on with them, no matter what the circumstances is. There's nobody there that should judge you. God's the only one that judges you. But taking a baby away from its mom while it's nursing, there is no logical answer for that. Especially when the health is not at risk or anything. There's just something is in the sauce, and I don't want to find out. I just don't give a shit. It's wrong. I'm glad that God put his work in to be like, you guys aren't in charge. I'm in charge. It's not what you say. It's what I do. It's what I say. And if I were to have under anything having gone wrong or something that would have worked in the favor of my mom, who was the predator, the abuser. There was a lack of fear from my end because I had prayed about it. Everybody, we were all like, everything's going to be fine. We got to figure out a way to get her to just stop doing what she's doing. But I feel like the emotion that she got when everything was all said, God needed that to happen. Because in that moment, and I don't know, I don't give a shit. I just know she's a horrible parent. Seriously. the emotion that she felt and everything that she knew she was going to do to harm my son, everything that she knew she was going to do to um, throw harm my way, and everything that she knew that she was just going to be enabled to do. Because remember, you're the one that's, these people are just sitting here, speaking or whatever. But you're the one, you can talk to me and you'll know what the fuck is Gucci. But you're the one that's sitting there filing all this and this and that, whatever. But in that moment, you knew exactly, you just, expressed to the world in some way. Nobody knows, but God definitely knows what you wanted to accomplish with me emotionally, the harm that you wanted to place upon me, because that's like a quiet way of giving somebody a life sentence for no reason. That's basically what that was. And the fact that you paid like less than $10,000, like, I'm sure it might be less. I mean, I'm really, sticking my neck out there saying that's how much it costs for you to make some weird ass decision like that. Yeah, no, bro, that's not going. It's not going down like that. I'm not arguing with anybody, but that team was right behind doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. You guys, failed to realize it's not just some isolated conversation that nobody. No, God is there. God is the person that is in charge of everything. But what she expressed in those moments, and I mean, the family, I'm just super surprised that throughout all of this time, I've always just kind of thought that, one day I'm going to be able to talk to them and like let them see who I am and stuff like that. And they're just going to understand what was actually going on, that, oh, okay, well, maybe she was keeping Elena from us and stuff like that. And, it's not what we were hearing, which I figured, and I thought that that would happen, but because they just supported her through all this, I'm like, no, you guys were on the end of understanding what was going on and you still supported her. So you guys are not, never really wanted anything from me. It's almost like somebody giving somebody a death ticket in the family. Like, no, you're the one that's going to be sacrificed. Like, bitch, for real? All of you guys? I don't care, because for whatever reason, you guys didn't contact me, never had any relationship with me. But then you guys got real bloodthirsty when I had a son. And when you saw how beautiful he was, you guys got even really weirder and more like cutthroat with me. And but I'm not experiencing any of that. I'm not experiencing that in my personal life. But what had happened with you guys supporting my mom through all of this, you don't want to have to put your parent on blast, because that's your parent. No matter what I say, about her in our past, you're the parent. I was there. You should always know that. You've always been able to go and lie to, people in the family and say, oh, these kids and this, and that, whatever. And it's like, we're not doing anything. We're like cleaning everything. Well, I was cleaning everything. And like, you're just crazy. You are abusive. And then you just sit around and you're like going and talking to family members. Like, they're just so, I just don't know. She's weird. That's why, you look the way you look to yourself in the morning when you look at yourself and you try to prepare yourself to, address everybody. Nobody had anything to do with that shit. That is, you are completely responsible for the way that you are looking. Once that shit comes off, that's okay. I don't even want to hear it. You're not going to punish everybody in the world and just, pull the wool over everybody's eyes forever because of what you've done. And you're not going to create a world around me in the future of my son and everybody else's kids to believe that there's just corrupt, understanding of everything when you're just a bad egg. And you haven't been under the scrutiny that you should be. Therefore, you're still, being enabled by a lot of people. But whatever you express when you just wholeheartedly believe that you just had the last laugh and just ruined my life, gave me a life sentence as a woman of, taking my son from me and forever, I'll never see him again. I'm never going to ever have visitation, and it's all on your terms. Just sick, what you've done in your life towards me personally, just as an individual. I mean, let alone anybody else. There's people that's going to come out the woodwork, every last one of their faces, because you know what you did. You're just a shitty person. But what you expressed needed to happen. And none of that would have happened if she didn't make that decision or just made that comment on me. But whatever you express, I'm glad that you had trust in something that you expressed that, because it was perverted. Yeah. Anyways, so that's all I'm going to say for now. And we love seeing you at the women's shelter, just standing out there like a freaking weirdo. And like I said before, you made all of these false police reports, false documentation, because that's what that's my point of view that they don't understand. False police reports, false documentation, lying on the stand, lying to your, whoever you got to contact, anything that has to do with me, you have to lie. So from my point of view, it's like, no fucking way. This is so strange, girl. You are just not awesome sauce. All right, well, let me go. We'll talk later. Like and subscribe.